Hello, and welcome to this edition of the Angels and Destiny Show. Why is this show called this, you may ask? So I'll tell you. The accepted meaning of angel is messenger, and the accepted meaning of destiny is to make firm establish. So my guest and I bring you messages to establish what you need to know in the present. And of course, I do like working with angels and the calmness they bring. Now, in a moment, I'll introduce you to my wonderful guest, Cynthia da Silva. But before that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching the show live at a later date, as it means a lot to both of us to connect with like minded people. Now, if you've never met me before, then my name is Ray, and I'm the founder of Radiant Angel Energy, and I'm a spiritual guide and healer who's passionate about helping you reconnect with your divine presence and step into your purpose. Now, through angelic Reiki, angel oracle cards, guided meditations, and exploring past and future lives, I support you in healing your past and creating a soul aligned future. Now, my journey has taught me that with the right tools and guidance, we can all connect with our higher selves, embrace transformation, and live a life of abundance and fulfillment. Now, each episode of this show covers various themes of your journey, a mini guided meditation or an angel oracle card reading with the wisdom of my wonderful guests, like today's guest, Cynthia da Silva, about the wisdom and magic hidden within our dreams and how they can offer us clarity, answers, and direction if we're willing to listen. Our dreams know us better than we know ourselves. As we sleep, they weave their stories, whisper their secrets, reveal hidden fears, and illuminate our deepest desires. They can be our greatest source of insight, guidance, and transformation. And I'm so looking forward to hearing all about this. Now, Cynthia is the hypnotherapist, future vision coach, and speaker with 21 years of private practice, first on the island of Martha's Vineyard and now in Scottsdale, Arizona. Passionate about travel, including time travel, of course, endless learning, and assisting others to reach their highest potential. Cynthia specializes in past and future life exploration, dreamwork, future vision coaching, and golf performance. And in addition to working with individual clients, Cynthia leads transformative workshops and produces a line of hypnosis and meditative MP3s. And I met Cynthia through Future Life Progression and had some wonderful conversations with her. So, without further delay, hello, Cynthia, and welcome to the Angels and Destiny show. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Excellent. So before we get into this fascinating conversation, I want to remind you that not only can you share this video, but you can also ask questions, leave comments and thoughts, as both Cynthia and I want to be part of this conversation. So please don't be shy. So Cynthia, why don't you tell us more about your journey and how we can use the magic of dreams to guide us towards clarity, healing, and new direction?
Yes, my dream journey, I would say, started during a grieving period, at the end of, well, after the death of a loved one. During my grieving process, I had a visitation dream, not just one, but more than one, which I thought was fascinating. And there's something about it that, there are all different types of dreams, but that dream, that initial dream was you could just know instinctively, intuitively that it was different. So that sparked my fascination and it brought great comfort to me at that time. And then years later, I had a dream. Well, I will say that years later, I had an experience of being in Dubai and fracturing my femur
Mm.
and having a lovely ambulance ride in the process. And while I was in the hospital, my friend Mona was visiting me a few days later. And I remember saying to her, I remember the ambulance ride in it from a dream. So that started as ever since then, I started studying it and doing dream work. And the thing about dream work with what I do in hypnosis is I feel like it's the perfect combination because dreams come from our subconscious mind. They're messages from our inner wisdom. And in hypnosis, we work with the subconscious mind. So I feel like it's the perfect complement to enhance that experience of connecting with your dreams.
Yeah, beautiful. I love the way that, hypnosis, can weave into dream work because sometimes hypnosis can be quite clinical. um, and very dry. So the fact that you can actually weave dream work into it is an absolutely brilliant idea.
Dreams are so fascinating, aren't they? And it's funny because we all dream, you know, even though we don't remember them a lot of the times. But it's something that we all do. We all experience every night, several times a night, yet we often don't remember them. And when we do remember them, we don't really take them seriously. We just brush them off as unimportant or just, ramblings from our subconscious mind. But when we begin to listen to them, we realize how much value they have. And the more we listen, the more they unfold to us.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people talk about keeping journals, don't they, by the side of your
Yeah.
bed and writing down your dreams.
I would say that's the number one advice that I hear from everyone who's an expert on dreams is number one, keep your dream journal and keep at it every night. Keep it beside your bed, close by. The first thing in the morning, grab it, write down your dream, and you begin to see patterns if you are consistent with it.
Yeah, I try it, but so it's kind of like I'm so tired when I wake up. Then I go like I'm going back to bed again. So I go through fits periods where I'll do it and then I won't do it. But I have to admit, I've never really seen any particular patterns following through, which is
That's a
really interesting.
mhm. And it's okay to be inconsistent, as long as you have it there and you use it when you want to use it too. I don't always remember my dreams. When I set the intention to, I can program my mind to remember them, but I have my dream journal at all times anyway, and when one occurs to me when I wake up in the morning, I'll write it down. I just write down the what I remember of the dream, whatever fragments are there, whatever comes to mind. And often when you start writing it or start thinking about it, it does unfold further. Um, and then it's fun to look back on them from time to time because you forget them even when you write them down, and it brings other information up.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I've looked back to some of mine and gone, no idea where I was going with that one, but
Well,
it's
that's the thing. They're so cryptic, and but when you read through the lines or when you just spend time with them, they show more and more to you. That's what's so fascinating. I think of it sometimes as, when you're outside on a clear, starry night, when you're out in nature and there are no lights and you can gaze up at the stars and just look at the stars. And the more you look up into that night sky, the more stars begin to all of a sudden appear out of nowhere. They just you just see more and more stars as you linger with it. So I feel like dreams are the same thing. The more you sit with a dream, the more information it will pop up.
yeah, yeah, no, that actually makes sense. Yeah, when you do look at the sky, you kind of like, oh yeah, there's more stars that are appearing with us. And I suppose it's also the mind thing as well. If you think about, I want to get a red car, suddenly you see red cars everywhere.
Mhm.
The
That's another thing to watch out for. There's our sleeping dreams, and then there are those waking dreams. I think of those synchronicities and coincidences that happen during our waking hours as sort of waking dreams, and sometimes they're connected. But the more you focus on something, you're right, the that you'll notice it more and more.
Yeah, yeah. It's absolutely fascinating when you actually go into it. So did sort of like dream work come about after you're done hypnotherapy, trained as a hypnotherapist, after future life progression? When did it really you start thinking, actually, I want to work on the dream work side of things?
It was when I was well into my hypnosis career, and I don't remember whether it was before or after the future work, probably around the same time. Um,
Mm.
so, as you know, you start studying something, you start researching something, and the more you learn, the more there is to learn. So you just have to keep going with it. But since then, I've created, well, I have a specific business for the hypnotic dream work. I have a website devoted to that. And I've created MP3 recordings specifically for dreams because there are a lot of things related to dreams that people want to work on, not only to remember, to understand your dreams and the messages from them, but to remember them. To know our dreams, we have to remember a little bit of them, and then we can also program our dreams. If we have specific questions we want to ask, we can have a dream incubation and set that intention the night before. Ask any specific questions and listen for the answers.
Now that's an interesting concept to actually think about. So, can people do it by themselves, or do they, need to listen to a guided meditation, or you know, is it something that anyone can do?
Yes to all those questions. And it's kind of a luxury to have a dream group, but a dream group is wonderful if you have like minded friends or a circle that you can share dreams with. You can use specific methods to uncover dreams that way, but most of us don't have that, and we can easily work on our own. There's so many different techniques that you can use on your own, but just having the intention is the first step, and it's an easy step anyone can do. You can decide, I want to dream, I'm wondering about some specific thing. And you can just set the intention the night before, ask that question, maybe make a little mantra. Um, so there are lots of ways, and they're pretty easy. It's
Yeah,
just a matter of setting your mind to it.
yeah. I like it when things are easy for that. And can we actually set the intention to create a story in our dreams rather than get answers for something?
Create a story that you have an idea about or an unknown story.
Both.
Okay, yeah, why not? I think you can do anything you want. It's just a matter of putting that idea in your mind.
Yeah. Yeah. And I suppose again, it's also if you want some clarity on something that you've got coming up, you want some insight or questions, then you can ask that from your dreams.
Right, definitely. And you can also rewrite your dreams. If you want to go back after a dream,
Hmm.
a good example of that is if you have a recurring dream that just keeps popping up, I think that means that your dream's trying to get your attention. It wants you to pay attention to something. It wants you to attend to something and get something resolved. So it's going to just keep knocking on that door until you answer it. So you can either explore that and let it play out, or you can actually go back and change it. So if I don't like what happens in a dream, I can revisit it, go back into it, and change the direction, change the outcome. That's a good thing to do when you have nightmares. Nightmares are especially uh, recurring sometimes, or um, kind of like a loud fire alarm. It's just um, affecting you. So why not go into it? Why not face it and take control? We can have more control than we realize. We can't just let a nightmare haunt us. We can go in and take control and take power over it and change it if we want to.
Yeah, I think that's the powerful thing. It's remembering that we have the power to do that. And I know obviously because we both work here with FLP, the person who's experienced it is always in control of
Mhm.
what happens.
Yeah. That's what we help people to discover, isn't it? That they do have more control than they realize. We're always in control of our own mind and body.
Yeah. So have you had people you've worked with that have gone time traveling in their
I was
dreams?
just going to bring that up. That's the wonderful thing about, I believe it's all time travel. What we do in future life work, future work, past regression work, and dreams. It's all of those things are unrestricted, they're limitless, they're going beyond our usual concepts of time and space and where we can be. We can be two places at the same time when we time travel in those. That's what's so fun about it, is there are no limits. And you don't know where your mind will take you, but it has an idea. When your subconscious mind presents you with these thoughts and feelings, there's a reason. It's trying to tell us something.
Yeah, makes absolute sense with that one. So, have you had any other experiences with your dreams, sort of like with time traveling or getting clarity on answers? I mean, obviously, you don't need to go into specifics or past lives.
Yeah, all the time. Past lives, I'm not sure. Probably. I believe that, our dreams present us, they help us deal with our current life, what's going on in our life. They help us process and filter our experiences and process our emotions related to all of our experiences. Um, and it also, as in addition to dealing with what's going on in our lives currently, it does bring up fragments from the past a lot of times, and they'll weave them together. Sometimes you'll have some memory of a past situation or a past relationship, for example, and maybe. Well, this is a perfect example. Just the other night, I was talking to a friend in the gym, and she asked me, I had this disturbing dream about my ex-husband, and, it was a friendly dream, we'll say, and, she didn't have those feelings about him, and I said, and she was upset about it, and I said, "Well, it doesn't necessarily mean what it appears to me." He could be representing something else, someone else, some other feeling, some other situation in the past or present that represents. So you just need to look at all the little components, and there's so many details that you can take a look at. But
Yeah, and I suppose that kind of like makes sense because if that experience when she was with him was actually really good, then that's how she would experience really good things when something else came
mhm,
along. So because it is, isn't it? Our mind attaches to a certain feeling or experience for the rest of our lives.
or not, yeah. Or we can change it.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I encouraged her, without adding my own opinion, which is important, I gave her questions to help her discover, well, maybe it is related. She was thinking maybe it was related to that feeling that initially she felt years ago that's maybe missing right now. That's a perfect example of what we can find from our dreams. It doesn't necessarily mean first the first thing that you think it might mean.
yeah. Yeah, so again, I suppose it is that, if you write it down or you share it with somebody, it then puts it a bit more in perspective that you can go back and look over it again, or somebody can give you an idea of their interpretation, and that helps you form your opinion of it to get to know exactly what it means to you.
Mhm. It can always change. There can always be more information that surfaces. But just simply writing down what you remember, changes it and brings it to life somehow. And I always write down my dreams in the first person as if it's happening at that moment. You can also write it down in the third person, but I recommend being consistent with that. You know, if you're writing down your dreams, stay in the first person or the third person and tell that story that way. And you can just leave it at that, or you can go back and explore it more.
Yeah, I've never actually thought. Do you know something? I've never actually thought about that, whether it's in first person or third person. So I think I'm definitely going to have to go back and look at some of the dreams I've written down as to whether I sort of like told it as a story in the third person or whether it's I experienced this, I experienced that. I've never actually thought about that before. So that's
Mhm.
a good point.
It's good to just write down the facts, basically, as you notice them after a dream, and then go back and write down your impression of it, your associations, as far as you want to go, as deep as you want to go.
Yeah.
And there's so much to pay attention to because the dream is multiple layers. And each dream has a lot of layers to it. If you want to study it further, if you want to investigate what your dream might mean afterwards, it's important to have those associations. And after you've written down the facts or gotten them in your mind, the facts of the dream as it tells its story, then go back and just notice what associations you have with any of the characters, objects, the landscape, the colors, even anything that you pay attention to. And it's great to expand your awareness in any situation. And um, it'll just open up your eyes to more possibilities. And then the other thing to pay attention to is there's generally a central image to a dream, something that sticks out to you and that just feels intuitively more significant, more important than any other thing in the dream. It can be just one little element, it can be a feeling. Um, and it's also important to pay attention to the feelings and emotions. I like to just go through the dream and notice what emotions are attached to each scene in the dream and how you felt at the beginning and how you felt at the end of the dream. And that's a good indication of what it means too.
How there's just so much to dreams, you know. We kind of like just go, oh yeah, it's a dream, or I think about dreams, but listening to
Exactly.
you, there is so much more in a dream.
Right.
And that. So is that just sort of like, you know, when you're asleep dream, or if you wanted to daydream, could you do exactly the same thing?
Hmm. I feel like daydreams are dreams too. It's just another type of dream. There are a lot of opinions about what's a dream, what's not, the categories of dreams. I've read so much. People have different descriptions of the different categories of dreams. I separate them into night dreams, and then there are subcategories of those, and then the waking dreams, which is daydreams, and even synchronicities and coincidences. I kind of put into that category. But yeah, definitely daydreams. Those are those dreams that you have full control over because you're directing it, you're playing it out however you want to. And it's a little fantasy that you go off. And again, you can be anytime, any place. There are no limits.
Yeah,
Imagine if you didn't have that.
yeah, you know, I love that, and that's how I often describe to people, you know, with future life regression or past life regression. It's like a waking dream.
Mm,
You know, you're fully in control of it, but your subconscious is sort of like taking over, but you're still directing it.
right. That's true. I tell people that all the time when they come to me for any sort of session, whether it's regular hypnosis or past and future. I say it's exactly like a daydreaming because people always fear that they're going to be unconscious or asleep. And I said, no, it's just like daydreaming. You know how you're in your own little zone and you're following the thread wherever it leads, wherever you lead it, basically. But if somebody, if some noise happens or if somebody walks in the room, you're fully aware of it. You're just in two different worlds at the same time, easily.
Yeah. And, if you really were to start thinking really deeply into that, I'm in two worlds at the same time. You could literally go anywhere with anything.
Yeah. People are so fascinated, aren't they, when they experience that, especially in future and past work. You realize that, wait, I'm here in the 18th century and I'm back here with you in this room. It's crazy. It's hard to believe until you really experience it.
Yeah, yeah, and it is, and when you experience it, you do experience it, and you have those feelings, that impression of it, which I think is absolutely brilliant. With going forwards and backwards
Mhm.
in time.
And then we tell people not to analyze or judge or question it at that time. But then after that session is over, it's amazing what insight you can gain from that. You learn lessons and get advice from your past self, your future self, your dream self.
I love that we are our own oracles.
It's true. Yeah. All of this comes from our own mind. And we have so much information stored in there that we have no awareness of until we decide to access it and ask for it. But I feel like our dream life, for example, can be our own little navigation system to guide us through life. Whenever we get off track, we get a little signal, get back on. You're on the wrong road.
I
This
love
is what
that.
you
Our
do.
own sat nav.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can, I love it when people take action as a result of the information they get too. I think that's important a lot of times because that's those recurring dreams, that information that screams at you that you know is pretty significant. You need to do something about it. If you listen to it and take action and you make yourself a better life.
Yeah. Yeah. Taking action is such a big thing because as you said, our dreams, our subconscious, our higher self, the universe gives us all these clues, all these stories. But unless we actually take action with them, then that's just what they are, possibilities.
Right. It's like with those recurring dreams that haunt you from the past. If you get information from your past in your dreams, it's either telling you from the past, it's either telling you how your past is helping you or hurting you or haunting you until you do something about it. It's good to let go of some of the old emotional baggage from the past because it doesn't help us in the current or future life. It just gets in the way and weights us down.
Yes, and we don't want to be weighted down. We want to have that freedom, that joy, that expansion to move forward with our lives.
Right.
So, as you know, I do guided meditations and angel card readings, and each week I like to ask my guests whether they would like me to do a guided meditation or pull an angel oracle card. But I know that Cynthia has a little meditation that she would like to do with us. So, Cynthia is going to do a meditation, and then I'm going to pull a card for us all.
Yes, why can't we have all of it? We deserve it
Right.
all. Would you like to do that now?
Yes, let's do that now.
All right, so I'd like to invite everyone listening, whenever you're listening, wherever you're listening from, if you're in a safe spot where you don't have anything else going on, we're going to do a little meditation. So make sure you're not driving, not at the gym. You're home alone, safe and sound. So, what I'd like you to do is, I'd like to invite you to just bring to mind a recent dream or even a dream from the past that's lingered in your mind that you're curious about, Because if we pay attention to dreams, we can get information from them. So I'm sure there's at least one dream that you can recall that made you think, made you wonder. So bring that to mind now, and we'll just do a little abbreviated version of what I do in my sessions for exploring dreams and getting more information from them. Typically, I'll take people into a hypnosis session, and we'll do a full relaxation bit before that, but I'm going to leave that out because we don't need that right now. So anyway, so think of that dream, and whenever you're ready, just allow your eyes to close and bring that dream with you into the next few moments. And just let that dream become vivid in your mind, become more clearer and clearer in your mind. And just notice whatever you have noticed about that dream. And keep in mind that it doesn't even matter if you feel like you got something from this dream. A dream can be anything. It doesn't have to be a full-blown story. A dream can be just fragments of information. It can even be just a word or a phrase, or even a symbol, because dreams also speak to us in symbols and metaphors. So just be open to any possibility. And noticing whatever you notice at this time about the dream. Now we'll begin to associate with this dream. And by that I mean, if you notice specific elements, whether it's the landscape, colors, trees, mountains, whatever it is, or objects, or animals, or people, any characters in the dream, any elements at all about the dream. If you notice any things that you associate with those specific things that you notice. For example, if you dream about a pigeon, a bird, notice what associations you might have with something like that. Like what it does or what purpose it has in the world. Any association at all. And you may already have noticed that one particular thing stands out. Maybe something captured some emotion. You notice feeling a certain way, reacting a certain way. And that might be that might be your central dream image. You might want to ask specific characters in the dream, why are you here? Do you have a message for me? Do any of the characters or elements of the dream remind you of anything about yourself? Whatever you notice, because only your mind knows what's important, because this comes from your mind. And just take another moment or two to notice whatever you notice. And notice how you feel. revisiting this dream. Notice if the dream feels different now. Has your impression of this dream changed? Has the message changed? I like to give dreams titles. I title them initially when I write them down, as a lot of people do. And then after you work with them, see if the title changes. When you first title a dream, just write down your first impression. Don't filter it. Don't second guess it. And then after you work with it a while, just see if it's still the same title. Because often it changes, it transforms into something else. So getting ready now to leave that dream for now. You can always revisit it when you choose, if you choose. But for now, just let that dream fade into the distance. And whenever you're ready, just gently open your eyes, come back into the room, back into the day. And if you'd like, take a moment or two to write down what you observed about what you experienced.
That was I was thinking, I don't know if I'm going to I don't know if I'm going to remember a dream then, but I haven't had this for a long time. But I used to have a lot of dreams where I was flying. Literally, I was flying free fall, no wings, no parachutes, no nothing. And that came back to me, flying over walls and falling out of. Well, I thought it was planes, but it wasn't. It's actually uh, unidentified flying objects, UFOs,
Oh,
that I was coming out of. Um, and it was, yeah, it was kind of like, oh, so it wasn't planes, it was actually extraterrestrial objects that I was coming out of and flying free form in the air, in the clouds, in the sky, gradually coming down onto Earth.
I love it.
Yeah. That's I'll have to listen back to this.
Yes. And revisit it again. Who knows what will
Yeah.
happen?
Who knows? Yeah. No, that was brilliant. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
So let's see what the cards have got to say for yourself and everyone watching. So as always, I cleanse and bless the cards. And when I do the cards for what you need to know for your highest good at this moment in time. Because although I work with the past, when we go into the past, it's to learn from, to heal from, so that whatever happened doesn't affect us in the present. And when I take people into the future, they can see, understand, and know the future so that they can come back to the present and not worry about the future. So, what does Cynthia and everyone who's watching this, either the live or the replay, need to know for their highest good at this moment in time? Cynthia and everyone who's watching this need to know for their highest good at this moment in time. So, what guidance are we going to be given? So, we have got embracing enthusiasm, shout
Mm.
to the heavens with happiness.
What could go wrong with that?
I know, isn't that a beautiful card to come out? So obviously, for you, Cynthia, it's embracing the enthusiasm of the work you're doing. Just shout to the heavens, shout to the universe. This is absolutely. I'm so happy with everything that I'm doing, and it's kind of like releasing the butterfly. So it's kind of like dreams as well. Releasing those dreams into the vast universe. So, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing at this moment in time, which is absolutely brilliant. And for everyone watching, what are you enthusiastic about? Embrace that, shout it from the heavens, from the rooftops. let people know how what you're enthusiastic about, and that energy will help you move forward in your life and create those butterflies, those synchronicities that come into your life for you to actually experience. So I love that
Love it too.
that
Passion
card.
is so important. Anything you have passion about, it just sparks life within you.
Yeah, it certainly does. So, Cynthia, do you have any insights or thoughts or last words of wisdom to leave our viewers?
I do. Remember that your dream is your dream. The dream always belongs to the dreamer, and no one else can tell you what your dream means. I mean, they can offer you suggestions when you work with a dream group. People will say, if it were my dream, I would wonder about this, for example. But only you know what your dream truly means. And the other thing is be open to all the possibilities because it will unfold. And intuition, trust your intuition because we all have it. We sometimes don't trust it. If you don't trust your intuition, just practice trusting your intuition until it comes. And the other thing is, it's important to, I like to say, stay curious because curiosity in life and in dreams is opens doors for you.
Yeah,
See,
beautiful.
and every dream has a gift.
Oh, wonderful. And I love the fact you brought up curiosity because that is my word for the year.
Oh,
And it keeps coming up in a lot of the shows I'm doing. So again, it's at the beginning of the year, it's like what words, and I actually got curiosity and music, two words, sorry, curiosity and magic for this year. And obviously because that word came in, lots of my shows are now coming up with curiosity. The word curiosity keeps coming up.
for a
Uh,
reason, I'm sure.
Yeah, so which is absolutely brilliant. So I hope everyone that you've enjoyed this conversation and found insightful, because I know I definitely have. And I'm going to start journaling my dreams again and go and look back at some of the ones I have already written down. So if people want to connect with you, Cynthia, how do they do that? Do you have anything coming up at the moment and any free gifts or offers to share with our viewers?
I do. I have a free offer for the viewers. Through the month of May, if you're listening immediately, I'm offering one of my dream MP3s for free. You can download it for free. I tried to find the specific link so you could just go straight to it to download, but I couldn't. I wasn't sure it was working, so I don't trust it. But you can go to one of my websites, is hypnoticdreamwork.com or cynthiadasilva.com or even hypnosismv for marthasvineyard.com. One of those websites, there will be one page that says MP3s. Go to that page, scroll down to Remembering Your Dreams. That's my offer, that 5-minute meditation for remembering your dreams. You just click it on. It'll say the price, but don't pay attention to that. Click it on, and you'll type in the code angels, all in capital letters. And that will be your secret code for downloading that MP3 for free.
Beautiful. And I will put that comment or the links to your websites in the comments so that people can go in there, and and I'll remind them about the code that they can use. So thank you so much for that offer, Cynthia. It's absolutely brilliant. And can people find you anywhere else apart from your websites? Are you on social media at all?
Yes, I'm everywhere except for LinkedIn, not so much, but Facebook, Cynthia da Silva. I've got Instagram accounts, Cynthia da Silva Hypnosis and Hypnotic Dreamwork. Um, yeah, that's it, I guess. Oh, and my YouTube channel, Cynthia da Silva Hypnosis.
Yes, yes, definitely needs the YouTube channel. So thank you so much, Cynthia, for sharing your wisdom. It's been absolutely are wonderful. And don't forget, if you've got any questions or comments, Cynthia and I will sync back to them. So, don't be afraid to actually comment on them. And of course, if you are even ready for even more clarity and transformation, then I'd love to invite you to a free Soul Path Discovery one-to-one video call, where during our time together, I'll pull a couple of angel and oracle cards to help you gain clarity and uncover guidance from your higher self or the angels. This is your chance to reflect, connect, and gain insight into your path forward. And I would be truly honored to chat with you one to one, guide you and help you to take the next step towards living the life that you always meant to live. And of course, I do have a couple of incredible free gifts for you, designed to help you connect more deeply with your guides and your angels and explore the future. So do check out the link in the comments after the show to grab yours. And again, thank you everyone so much for watching. And I'd like to invite you to share this video, as I'm sure there are more people who feel lost and want to get clear on their destiny just like you. And of course, if you are watching this on YouTube, then please feel free to subscribe. It is free. And hit that bell button to be notified when this show goes live. Or my other show, Oracle Card Meditation, Your Weekend Reset, goes live, which is every Friday. Or I post new guided meditations. And don't forget, every time you like, share, comment, not just on my social media, but on Cynthia's and all my guests, then you're actually helping get our messages out there, and you are part of that beautiful butterfly effect of creating community transformation and helping people take back charge of their destiny. And I look forward to you all joining me same time, same place next week. Take care. Bye.